as a big giant rat. And the fact that this place didn't burn down is a miracle. It's about the same size as the other one, but the way that it's laid out is just idiotic.
Well, who's going to come here? There's rentals over here.
Yeah, there's
Spoonies.
Now, the one thing that we didn't talk about over there's a 160-unit government apartment complex right next door to my other laundromat. It's
that's good.
200 feet, and that's why I really love that location. So this place I got, this was a package deal with the other laundromat in the small town. When I say small town, the other place is 1,400 square feet, or 1,400 people live there. Rural county, rural area. This is the other one. This is the one that I wanted because I could get it for $35,000 with 2 apartments upstairs. So essentially it was I want to try to see if I can run a laundromat. And this one, it has been abject disaster 24/7. We'll go back here and take a look at it, but at one point we turned the electric on. The guy was a nice guy, and I trusted him. In business, even your best friends, there's a statement: trust. Trust, but verify. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do enough verification. I came in here and did my due diligence. I didn't have my contractors. I didn't have anybody come in. And we trusted the guy because he was connected to a bunch of business people in town that I know too.
The former operator.
And
the owner of the building.
Yes, the operator and owner. So we go in, and the first thing we do is like, okay, let's get the power on so we can get good lighting in here, whatever. He had a 240-volt line running from the back panel to this, where the bulkhead is. The whole thing exploded. That was the first day of this place. So then we go in and look, and we find out that it was the old kind of wiring, not knob and tube, but it was where they take tar and they wrap it with
asbestos.
And I mean, probably asbestos, but I think it's almost like this paper that's on these windows over here. It was like paper and tar, and the tar had just run out over the course of probably 70 years old, and it bare wiring connected, the whole line blew up.
Nice.
So then
240.
At 240. And the fact that this place didn't burn down is a miracle. We make jokes about burning the other place down. I cannot believe this place had not burned down. So I'm running it at...
So what's the square footage on
revenue,
the base floor here?
On this floor, it's about 800 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
It feels bigger because there's no equipment.
There's no equipment.
But there's no equipment in here. So this was one of my things.
No minors allowed in the laundromat.
Yeah.
Unless with parents. I want that sign. I'm taking that home.
You can do that. So my guys have been in and out of here. It's one of those things where I had unending contractor problems. They before, when I went and paid my other contractors today, they said, "Brandon, don't be mad at us for what you're going to see in the laundromat." And I said, "What?" And they said, "It's full of trash." I was like, "Didn't we pay somebody to haul the trash out?" "Yes, we did." And he walked off with your
Dude,
money.
This is structurally... There's an apartment up there?
Yes, if you're quiet, you can hear him.
Oh, I can hear him. I don't have to be quiet.
So
How is that safe?
We've had to re-engineer. They've rerun a couple beams.
Oh, I can see. Okay.
Yeah. They've had to rerun beams, but a lot of it was rotted out because of the last owner. But like I said, I haven't been in here 4 months. They were continuing work on it, and it just at some point ran out of money. We're going through all my renovation funds. I do have some.
Here's some light.
It's crap. I have some crap laundromat equipment sitting in a warehouse. But, I mean,
it looks like someone tried to start some work here.
Yeah, they've tried to. But it's the problem of I ended up buying 2 locations instead of this is the one I wanted. The other location I didn't want. He had a portfolio loan against all of his properties. The bank would only release his laundromats if he sold me this one plus the other one.
Okay.
The other one, I knew this one was going to take more money. I felt the other one was in better shape, worse demographics. But if I can get both of them for $50,000, then I felt that was a good deal.
2 for 1 money.
Yeah.
I assume the tenants are paying the
Yes, the tenants pay
mortgage.
all the bills. So we're at this situation. I'm like, well, I can try to do the laundromat because I bought these before the one over there. When Trippy, the guy that ran that laundromat for like 30, 40 years, he died. His mom was the executor of the estate. So it went from son to the mom. I met with her with my buddy Sean that I talk about all the time, and we were negotiating with her. Another guy came in and said, those guys don't have any money. I'll give you X amount of dollars for it. He came in and he bought it out, I feel like, from under us. He gave it to his wife for her to manage it for a year. She couldn't deal with the drug issues over there because it was her fun little job collecting quarters. She didn't like it. She closed it down. It sat empty for a year.
Many of my students have the same scenario. The waiting game is part of the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes the hardest part. But you had your heart set on laundries.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, I felt like I could do good with a cash operating business as opposed to my rentals. I felt that was...
It's a different animal.
Yeah, it's a different animal, but it's one that I wanted to get in. If I could structure a deal where there's very minimal risk to me. On the laundromats, at least I'll still be in a position to do okay. And then...
We have to see the other store.
Yeah.
Then we have to see the competitor.
Yeah.
And there's only one viable competitor in town.
Yes, and they're over that way.
So there's 4 stores in town.
Yes.
Your YouTube channel store,
Yes.
this Giant Rat store, the competitor store, and the other one we're going to look at. And how big is your
There's
other?
2 competitor stores.
Okay.
Then there's my other one.
There's 5
outside of town.
Okay.
And a team
And
in
that's
Middleburg.
not worth looking at.
Well, we'll look at it because everybody wants me. That's the one that everybody wants me to turn in the arcade.
Okay.
I had all these recommendations on YouTube, and I said at one point I was like, if I can get the views, I'll turn it into Laundromat plus arcade, because there's no entertainment, there's nothing over in that town. I can have apartments that pay all the bills. So then, even if I break even on the laundromat, I can even lose a little money.
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
This is store number 2, and you've never shown this publicly?
I've only I did one 3-minute video when we started the rehab on it, and I just kind of never finished it because it was just problem after problem after problem. It's like I tried to get in the lot next door because there's no parking here. There's enough parking for 2 freaking cars out here. I tried to buy the empty lot next door. I didn't get it. A neighbor got it.
Okay.
There's a landlord trying to buy all these houses, and I'm trying to negotiate with him and try to figure
Oh, well,
out.
wait him out and sell this lot.
Yeah.
You know that.
That's what I'm working towards, but he's a bigger cheapskate than I am.
Oh,
if you
that's
can believe it.
impossible.
Yeah.
When we rolled up here, the first thing I see is this is basically an island.
Yeah.
And I don't see this as ever being a viable laundromat.
And I bought this in the sense knowing that I could get into it for almost no money out of pocket. I got apartments upstairs. That was going to mitigate my risk, and the risk has not paid.
Well, I'm trying to focus on laundromat speak, which is my thing, and I just don't see it. And I think you get that.
Yeah.
But God bless you for doing the work and for trying. But when the electric blew up, I'm sure that was the thing.
Yeah, that was just that took the wind out of our sails, because then it's like, okay, this is unsafe. This almost killed my electrician.
But also back in the day, there were 5 viable laundries in this town.
Yeah.
And now 2 of them are sucking up all the oxygen.
Yeah.
So let's go see your other store, and then let's look at the most important, the existing competition. You might be surprised what I have to say about them.
Okay. All right.
You're smart enough to know which store may be viable, and so far, of your 3 stores,
The problem is,
how many square feet is this?
2,400, 2,500.
Okay. Tell me the problem.
It's a small town. Every single piece of equipment in here is garbage. I've had some of my maintenance guys say that these floors are sagging, that the beams that we're standing on right now.
The minute you try to redo this place, the city's going to come in.
It's not the city. It's the state of Ohio.
The state of Ohio is going to come in.
They're going to require a architectural blueprint for me to start re-engineering things, really doing heavy-duty work.
Sure. The one thing they can't do is the tap fees.
Yeah.
Are they? They were paid at some point, or do they still exist?
They will not require them here in this town, because we fight with tap fees in Chillicothe. Okay. We won. The Landlord Association won our lawsuit against the city of Chillicothe. There's another small city.
For your store or in general?
For all people in the city.
Okay.
We sued them. We
for
won.
New or existing. If you're talking about residential homes as well.
They had this deal. They've had this deal where you can close a tap for a year, 2 years. You got to go in and reapply for tap fees.
Ooh.
And if you're a landlord and your tenant runs up a water bill, the landlord's responsible for it, not the tenant. So it ends up being this thing. There's huge incentive to screw the landlord. You're in a rental property and you walk out. You say, screw this landlord. He wants too much rent. I'm going to flip the water on. As a landlord, you're not always going to be able to go in and inspect that property and make sure the water shut off. So out of spite, they can run a $1,500 water bill. Joe, Brett's brother that we were talking to out in front of the other laundromat, he's had that done 2 and 3 times. He was the guy that funded almost the entire lawsuit against the city because he's like, I've had 3 tenants run $4,500 in water bills against me. So then we did a class action lawsuit against the city and said, this isn't right. I should not be responsible for somebody else's bills that they generate in their name. The only incidental thing here is that I'm the guy that owns the property.
Right.
So then we got tap fees thrown out. We got a lot of these.
Oh, so you
different
threw
things.
that in there. That wasn't the gist.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that the landlords
Very
got.
good.
Yeah, it's our little investment club in Southern Ohio. We sue the city.
The investment mafia,
Yeah.
as they call themselves.
I was accused.
Well, so why did you bring this? This is what I mean. The Solomatics, bro. You asshole. Put these in the
this-
rental car
okay.
right now.
Okay, all right.
But you're already telling me that you know that the state is going to come after
They're going
you.
to come after me. I just don't know how much work that I can get done on restoration at this point without the city coming in and throwing a huge fit, because they did that to a guy that was trying to repurpose an old bank into a wedding hall. So
I'd just be after the vault. Get the vault door.
he's turning the vault into a bedroom,
Ooh.
like a master bedroom.
So
where
you're
to open
after the
door.
wedding,
I don't know.
the first night.
Whatever. I
In the
don't know if that
vault.
was the concept that he was having on it or what. But that was his deal, and he spent 80 grand. I have to get the keys for that.
Well, I'm happy to visit, but
Yeah.
I think the best thing to do is really discuss. This is the way. When I walk in here, you think, okay, this is a decent footprint. Maximizing the space versus the demographic of the town. How many people can you potentially get in this store?
Yeah, it's not a ton.
Then you're going to kill it. You're going to bring the folks in. Is the other laundromat you're telling me your competitor? Is it here?
No.
It's closer to your other
closer
store,
to town.
much closer to your other store.
Yeah.
Okay, but I want to flip that switch and tell you that double stack these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and someone put 2 stacks.
Yeah.
So 11. You end up with dryer capacity of 22, and again 45 pounders, doubles. That's a lot of drying capacity, and you're going to make these all HE machines.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to bring in another. How is this concrete? How is this a concrete trough that under this particular section is there's no crawl space
Honestly,
there?
I've never been under it. So
That
like I
makes
said,
me
it's a
wonder.
disaster.
So you had a building inspector look?
I had the
Independent?
contractor did.
Okay. And he said if you tried to do anything with this other than make it into an arcade or something jokey.
Yeah, there's something real trivial. It was going to require some blueprints and re-engineering stuff. Because it's this town, in the state of Ohio, either you have your own building inspector or you outsource to your county or the state. And from everything I understand, because this is a commercial property outside the city, they decided to outsource the inspections to the state, which is the worst thing you could ever do. It's awful.
You got some flatfoots coming out here and
Yeah.
you own this space. Nothing above it. There's no creepy landlady up there.
No, it's like storage. It's an attic. It's awful looking about it.
Please keep off folding tables, please. I love the way the signs still remain behind. The
Yeah.
negative, the old negative signage.
Yeah.
We are not responsible. I'm surprised there's not a sign that says that there's cameras in use every minute of every day. As much as I'm supposed to be guruing, there's not really much of a point.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that it was this far away
Yeah.
from your other stores because that's not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same
It's-
group of folks.
Yeah.
Most of the country has concrete under retail space,
Okay.
and that's it.
All right.
So this is just different. Like you said, you've got these astronomical issues. I honestly feel for you because I'm thinking, turn it into a haunted house, do something crazy. The
Yeah.
same thing that YouTube is doing.
Yeah.
But in order to go back to the laundromat thing,
Yeah.
you could make this viable, but it depends on where the people are.
Yeah.
And where are they going now?
They're going to a town called Greenfield.
There's no viable store here.
No. We're in a town of 15,000 people. This is it. I've got people that still call me on probably every month asking me when this place is going to be open because they're tired of coming into town. So,
Okay, well, you know what you have to do.
yeah.
It's just you have room here. If you have a choke point here because you're going to put a row of machines here, you're likely going to put the other. You're likely going to put your front loaders here. You're going to turn these top loaders, get rid of them, put all
Okay.
HEs,
Yeah.
you know, high efficiencies, which are basically front loaders that aren't J-bolted to the dirt, J-bolted to the ground.
Okay.
And heating, air conditioning, it costs money, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you're in this place for X, and then you've got a viable store. Because this is not in direct or indirect competition with you. And you're telling me there's no...
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Well, it could work. But you're
Oh,
basically saying, I don't want to do it. I want to put an arcade.
Well, I mean, I want to do what makes money. And I felt like doing back of the napkin math on this place that as a laundromat plus an arcade, that would work. But then as time goes on, then I come to the realization that
The arcade will destroy the laundromat.
Yes. And as time has, I said that before my vandalism issues were getting bad. I said that in January, February, where I went January, February, March, half of April with no vandalism issues on my laundromat in town at all. No issues whatsoever. Breakdowns, I had some breakdowns. That was it. April rolls around.
But it's a mindset. And this is what I tell my students. It's a mindset. If it irks you, if it bothers you, if it tears you down,
Yeah.
then they've won.
Yeah.
So if someone breaks into your... I had someone trying to grind their way with a die grinder into an ATM machine, JP up in Canada, and he was laughing because the guys couldn't get a grip on the floor because his floors are so clean. They were falling all over the place and couldn't really get in there. And that was what he noticed. And I said, you've got it. You understand. You're literally laughing at something that would take another operator and make them freak out.
Yeah.
And have a bad day and have a bad month and go in and start putting bars on the walls, start putting bars on the windows and the door. You can't let them win, and that's letting them win.
Yeah.
You're going to end up this Korean grocer who's behind bulletproof glass, you know, with no way to defend yourself. That's horrific.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
Yeah.
That's all I got. It's a mindset, and you have this phenomenal concept of it's not just the money, but that not being your bottom line. Can this place be viable? A lot of times, no. You could also turn around and sell this to a potential laundromat operator, saying, look where it is, look at the demographics, look at the nearest, there's no competition. But I don't think you'd live with that. Because at the end of the day, you'd have to say, by the way, why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah.
A lie would be anything else other than the fact, which is it's going to kill you on permanence.
Yeah. So.
The infrastructure that's here is the only reason we're standing here.
Okay.
You know, not the equipment or the sign out front or the fact that it used to be a laundromat. So this is me telling you, like I said, I walk away from more deals than I make.
Oh yeah.
Because it just doesn't
it
doesn't make sense. For you, do that other store, and I think there's a good plausibility to make a few bucks in there, to most certainly do some decent cash in there.
Cool.
I want to see the competition.
Okay, let's go.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get thrown out, and that's going to be good. So it's a plant. He's back there. Do you know who you are?
Nope.
Okay, run. We want to get in the truck now before that guy comes and finds out who we are.